Yeah, yeah. It's all unraveling. It's all unraveling.
Listen in case you didn't know, no. It's almost getting close. In case you didn't know, no. It's all unraveling. Buckshots and middle fingers up to COVID. It's blood on their hands, so they owe it. Yeah. Only the ones with no faith that take the vaccines. Step to me with it, I'ma make your back lean. We at the end, new Sodom and Gomorrah. Christ about to come and mop the floor up. Walking up in Louis V with your mask on. Check the me's, man, they about to get their blast on. Prophecy, interpretation, Isaiah 55:11, so it ain't no faking. Crack your dough, it's getting close. I'm here to tell you, just in case you didn't know. Listen in case you didn't know, no. It's almost getting close. In case you didn't know, no. It's all unraveling. Babylon got pregnant with a daughter. She introduced a new world order. She wicked as hell. If you try to feed the homeless, they take you to jail. And for that wicked heart of power, gon' send them to hell. We at the end, you still walking with your J's on. All that turn up getting fly, boy, them days gone. GMOs and our food we can barely eat. A cashless society, prepping for the beast. All moving along to Rex 84, Jade Hill, killing the body. If you wicked, you done. If you live your life in sin, that's a no. Straight shot, no chaser, just in case you don't know. Listen in case you didn't know, no. It's almost getting close. In case you didn't know, no. It's all unraveling. Listen in case you didn't know, no. It's almost getting close. In case you didn't know, no. It's all unraveling.
What they done? Yeah, it's all unraveling. Hey, I would like to welcome you to the podcast. And these are your hosts. Share your show. And like, hey, yo, yeah. Safa. Hey, you know me. Roshan. Shoot the key.
All right. It is good to be back. We missed a week last Monday because of events that was totally out of our hands. But there was almost a time when when we was going to have a show even before Monday because of the events that came about that hit us here in Texas. And for those that don't know, this is a Texas-based show. We are from Texas, so we were affected by that. So if you somewhere in another state or something like that, we'll be able to tell you firsthand that everything that you heard was real because we experienced it, man. We experienced it. So it's a blessing. We are going to be without one of our co-hosts, which is Eliyahu. We want to give him safe travels out there. He's working right now. Make sure that he is safe out there. I know that he would want to be with us, but he's not going to be able to join us on this one. But we're going to keep it rolling. Brothers, what's happening?
Shalom. It was a crazy, and with the storm going on, a lot I've seen out there, a lot I've been through.
Hold on 1 second. Let me do something right quick, and we gonna get it going. My bad. Thought I had taken care of this before we started, but I didn't. Man, it's a lot going on out there, man, and this is why we coming together on this show right here, right? We are going to talk about Winter Storm 2021 because from the time of March last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
March last year, right, when we could say that everything just started going to what my mom used to say, hell in a handbasket, or handbasket, right? And what have they been telling us to do? They've been telling us to do what? Stay indoors, right? Every holiday they tell us what? Stay indoors. That's what they tell us, right? Every event that happened, what do they tell us? Stay indoors. You see what I'm saying? So hey, I tell you what, man. February of 2021, guess what? They showed us how to do. It showed us how to stay indoors. I
all,
mean,
all of us was on groundation. We was all on punishment.
we were all on punishment, man. So we're going to talk about Winter Storm 2021. And I talked to Roshan a little bit yesterday. I've been talking on and off to Oxify as well. What we saw was unprecedented. And I don't know how many people are really paying attention to the signs. It's like I tell my family all the time, before we leave the house, we're going to do one or two things, or maybe both of them. We're going to watch the weather to see what is going on out there so we'll know how to dress. But even when we're out, what do we normally do? We pay attention to the clouds, right? We see what's happening, right? We know when it's going to rain. We see the rainstorms coming. I'm going to read this here out of 2 Ezra chapter 15. This is verse 1 and 2. He says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of this prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, said Ahiah, says the Lord. And I will cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful should die in their unfaithfulness." But then he goes on to say, "Behold, says the Lord, I will bring plagues." Okay? He says, "I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, the famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness had exceedingly polluted the earth." The reason of the plagues is because wickedness has exceedingly polluted the earth. They said that Texas had not experienced a cold such as we had in over 100 years. Were you guys aware of that?
No.
You wasn't.
No.
You was aware of that, Roshan? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
your mic working? Okay, then cool.
Yes.
That's what they tell us, man. They say that the cold that we experience, and I'm down south in Texas. I'm in Houston, where a lot of people come to vacate during the winter time because they are trying to escape the cold. And they actually had a couple that was at Galveston Bay. They came down. They was from upstate. They come here to escape the cold. It got down to 17 degrees here in Houston, Texas. Here in Houston, Texas, it got down to 17 degrees. That makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
But this is the thing that troubles me, okay? This is the thing that troubles me. Over the course of the week last week, this is what's reported. This is what's reported. Make sure that we have our mics muted. Make sure that we don't have any sounds coming through. Right. Okay. All right. This is the thing that troubled me. 69 deaths, 13 degrees, $18 billion in damages. Numbers paint a picture of how historic 2021 winter storm affected Texas. But 68 deaths. Let's talk about that, man. You know, the day that they hit their mile mark of 500,000. They hit 500,000 that they say died from COVID, right? From 500,000. They done hit they mark, right? Who have been mostly affected by this?
You want okay. The old minority,
Right. Especially the elderly, right? Especially the elderly and those that have underlying health conditions. So if it get down to 13, if it got down to 17 here in Houston, I can imagine what it got down in Texas. I mean in Dallas, where you guys are at.
It was
I can.
negative 2, -5. You know, some crazy negatives that they say never happened before.
Right. So if it got down that low, right? How is it that a place as big as Texas could allow power outages? They say the 4 million. I believe that it was more than that because I know for the most part all of Houston was out, and Houston is a city of about 4 million itself. And from everything that I heard, Dallas was out too, and it's a city of about 2.5 to 3 million, right? San Antonio was out and Austin was out as well. On the coldest days since 100 years, we gonna use the numbers that they use. 4.5 million people out of power. 4.5 million people with no power to keep themselves warm. I'm finna turn this over. I just want you guys to express to me. First question is this: who do you think this affected the most, right? Who did this affect the most? And could this be like a part 2 of the sequel that started from March? You dig what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Did that question make sense, Roshan? Okay. So go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead.
Ask the question one more time.
Who did not having power, who did it affect, right? Who did it affect the most? And could this be a part 2 of the sequel? Could this be the sequel that started in March? Because the Bible clearly says this. This is one thing, right, that we don't want to miss. The Lord said, I will send plagues upon the world. That's what he said. Brother, if these events that have been happening since March is not resonating and you're not realizing that we late in the game, I don't know what's gonna get you to, you know what I'm saying, to see, right? So let's talk about this, man. 4.5 million people with no power. Who want to go first?
You can take it, Safa.
Who is affected for what I've seen in the news and for what I've seen in my own eyes that it is affecting the black and the brown community.
You're breaking. You're
I hear a lot of
breaking up
static.
in this static. Yeah. Can
Is better?
speak again?
It's not on my end.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of static when you speak.
Mute your mic, Roshan. Let's see if that'll help you.
Yeah. You good?
We good.
Okay. Like I've said, the black and the brown community, for what I've seen, because I read in the news, and for what I've seen, when I call folks and ask them what side of town you're on, is this happening to you? You know, the higher up people, far as like the rich areas, I'm gonna make it easier to say, they had electricity the whole time. The down low areas, we was getting rolling electricity, and even in what we would call the hood was no electricity at all for days. And then it went from that to no water. So yes, it's hitting the black and the brown community first, and this definitely is part 2. What they set up last year due to what Biden said in the debate with Trump about it's going to be a dark winter. And I can pass it on to Roshan. I can go on and on, but I know he got something.
Yeah, I agree with you too, brother. I agree with both of you brothers. Definitely a part 2. In answer to your question, Brother Yeshua, who did it affect? It definitely affected the elderly. And you even,
brought me to that knowledge when we spoke on yesterday. You basically brought me to the knowledge of that's who it was really affected by. So when I did my research on it, you were proven to be correct, and I think where that's what their mission is right now. Because when you think about uh, the cocktail, right? The cocktail, that's who that affected initially as well. That's who they started with, right? And now it's trickling on over to the weather, you know. So I want to read this real quick, just for the audience and people who don't know about this now. And so you have to ask yourself, well, why are they even doing this? What's the point, right? And we'll say stuff like this, and we'll have people who think that we're extremists, stuff like that. We're reaching, you know, but you have to ask yourself this: if these people can create, if they could splice, create splicing GMOs and things of that nature. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
If they could create splicing and GMOs and things of that nature, why wouldn't they be able to do other things? So I'm going to read this. We've heard of the term HARP, HAARP, and it means High Frequency Active Oral Research Program. So the first question that should come to mind is, what are you researching? Okay. It says the High Frequency Active Oral Research Program, HARP, was initiated as an ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. So wait a minute. What are you trying to defend? See? What are you trying to defend yourself against? Could not this be the very defense mechanism that you would use that's spoken of in the Bible when it says that, that all the nations would come together to try to war with the Christ himself? Could this be the reason why you're building a defensive mechanism in the sky? Right? So if you're able to do, bring forth GMOs and things of that nature, what makes us think that they won't be able to tamper with our weather, or I'm just throwing it out there.
No,
Yeah, bring it up.
you're absolutely.
I like that. Bring it up.
Yeah, you absolutely right. And with that, this is from an article of 2009, and I shared it with you guys in our messenger board. Artificial snow brings chaos in Beijing. So to let you know that we are not reaching, to let you know that we are not making this up, to let you know that we are not just saying, hey, these guys, here's the bad guy, right? They are not even hiding it. In Beijing, it says that the snow brought chaos. Chinese scientists have artificially induced a second major snowstorm to wreak havoc in Beijing this season. This was in 2009. So if scientists can create an entire snowstorm and it wreak havoc in Beijing, what makes you think that? Do you find it oddly, what's the word that I'm looking for? Ironic, or that in 2021, out of all the years, when Godzilla shows up in March, right? People falling off like the blue-bunny plague, and then all of a sudden we come 2021 in February, we got the coldest temperatures that done hit the state of Texas in 100 years. Just think about it, right? I'm not trying to persuade nobody one way or the other. All I'm saying is, look, if my wallet has been on my television for a week, and then you come over my house today, and I go to my television and my wallet is gone, what am I to think? It did not move until you showed up at my house.
Gone.
You see what I'm saying? So let's think about it. Let's put this here in perspective. I went 38 hours straight, 36 hours straight with no power. So I'm not just to tell you something that I heard. I'm telling you what I know. We did 36 hours straight, no power in this house. We made it, but it's me, my wife, my 3 children, and we had an extra. But I want you to think about being in the house when the temperature is outside in Dallas, sub-zero, here in Houston, 12 degrees, 13 degrees. Think about being in the house by yourself. In a house by yourself. No power, no water. Trying to keep yourself warm. And you were somebody who of an elderly age, 60-something years old or older, right? Probably shouldn't be living by yourself, but you are capable to an extent, so your family come and check on you when they can, which is normally all the time. But since Godzilla pulled up, what have CDC been saying? You can't go visit grandmama, you can't go visit grandfather. See? So now you are by yourself in a cold house with sub-degree weather outside. I don't care how you write this, how you word this, that's murder. I'm turning it over.
Gone.
Take it away.
Because that what you said about the being there by yourself. When you receive the thing that they pushed out last year, and then you got to go to these rehabs for 2 weeks, all cooped up by yourself. That's enough in a nutshell to drive someone crazy. Turn around, and now Godzilla then came through, froze everything on the road. You can't go nowhere. You all by yourself. Like you was in the house with your family. I'm in here with my wife and my 8 children. And but the thing about that is we had someone to talk to. Me and my wife stay in the room. We would talk. We'll come out. We'll all do this. When it was rolling, now all praise to the Most High. We had rolling power outages. It'll be out for a good 4 hours. Come on for an hour, out again. So, but I was hearing folks at my job where they didn't have none at all, and my job offered places where they can come in the job and get water, charge their phone up, do all this. And I'm thankful for that. But them people that don't have a job, don't have no one living there, shelters was all full, churches wasn't open. What was they thinking about? What was they going through? Only thing I think of is suicidal thoughts, being alone, want to off yourself. And that's part of their plan that they want to do. How you go through some mind states of getting rid of yourself, because the ultimate goal is the depopulation. I pass to you, Rashawn.
Con, you just said it. You just said it. Depopulation. That's the goal. You know, hey, Mr. Gates, he said it himself. You know, he said it himself. But this is the thing, brothers. We could talk about this stuff. We could put out the information, but you know who I really want to reach with our content? I would like to reach our people. Okay. And the reason why I say this is because Brother Yeshua made a good point. He said that something to the degree of And I'll just say this: when it rains, it can rain at any given time, right? And we're not threw off by that because, hey, rain can come whenever it wants to. We all have that understanding. But I want to share the scripture real quick because I don't want to seem like I'm all over the place, because I just got a lot of thoughts going on in my mind right now.
And let me make this one comment too, so the people will know this is not generally how our show is going to be. Okay,
right?
But because of the events that have taken place, we felt that we would be remiss if we did not come on today and talk about the events that had just happened. Okay,
Right.
we don't have any articles hardly. We don't have any videos to bring out anything. This is three brothers right now. We just talking. Okay, so this is what you get. All right. So if we sound like we all over the place, we might be, but we are somewhere. So take our hand and walk with us. All right.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that, brother. But I want to share this. It's coming from Matthew 13 and 11, and it says, "He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven." So he's talking about, the disciples and the believers, right? It's given to those saints, the ones who believe. They're going to know the mysteries of heaven, right? But unto them it is not given, the ones who don't care to know. This is the point that I would like to make. When we talk about this stuff, when we talk about the snow and how they've done these things and how they've tampered with the weather and stuff like that, when we talk about these things to our people, the first thing they'll say is, that's anything that sounds way too far-fetched to our people, they're gonna look at you like you're the one who reaching, or like you got a problem. Man, you know what? You got a problem, man, because you just be thinking way too deep. Well, the problem is you don't. See, that's the real problem, right? And I want to share one more scripture here. This is 2 Timothy 4 and 3, and I'll read verse 4 as well. It says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine." Hey, they're doing this. They're killing us. They're messing with the weather. They're doing this. They're doing that. No, they ain't. Y'all be taking stuff too far. "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears." Verse 4. "And they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables." That's why I said I want our content to reach our people, because our people need to know the truth of what's going on in this wicked world. Because what we need to understand is what they do to us is, like I said, we all know that rain comes whenever. It comes whenever the Most High appoints it to come. But we also know that everything is in its appointed season. Why is it snowing and freezing over in the whole state of Texas, and then a few days later it's 70-something degrees outside? See,
excellent point, and I meant to make mention of that. It's a beautiful thing, brother, that you sitting outside right now, right? You're sitting outside, which is, almost not even a whole week, man, from what it is that we went through. We're going to go into the part of the show where we will have our music break. And so we fit to do that right now. We're going to come back. We got some more to talking about, some more things to talk about. And like I say, man, I just hope you guys just, I'm hoping that you will be able to follow us in what it is that we're trying to say. We're going to talk about the foods as well, the grocery stores. We have got to talk about the grocery stores before we get out of here. So we're going to get into this, the Raka bar above the clouds, and we'll be right back on the other side.
Another might be exclusive. A Hebrew is found in the world like a lily among thorns. And because of our captivity, we mourn. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home, to bring us to the place where we shall roam. Jerusalem. Do what you can, for from the beginning, Abba had a plan above the clouds.
I wake up and thank Abba, he let me see the day. Nothing new under the firmament, ain't no escape. Except that narrow path, the Savior showed us the way. We gon' take the kingdom, right now we in last place. Light speed, tunnel vision, ain't no switching lanes. They think it's a game, repent or you feel the flames. I ain't judging, it's in the Bible, read the scriptures, man. They thought Noah was out of his mind, then it rained. What's that above the clouds? Blow your trumpets loud, heard they building bunkers now. They snatch you from underground, judgment, and your every work is on trial. Seek him while he could be found, pursue your purpose now. Israel made a vow, a covenant with the creator. We transgress over and over, so he sent the savior. Last days, 11:59, summon all of Unraveling, cause it might be too late. A minute later, all I see is chariots above the clouds. It's gonna be a problem if they come down. Abba, have mercy, we need you right now. If you don't intervene, ain't no other way out. Unless you swing low, low, swing low. Abba, swing low, low, low. Trumpet now, high pitch, ringing in my ear. I start to levitate. One way to Jerusalem, I pray I get to heaven's gates. Looking at the hourglass, almost out of sand. Just a mortal man, my faith in the Father's hands. Yeah, had to level up, I got tired of playing. And I got a plan, this music's in high demand, so we're gonna play. Put the message in the lyrics through the Holy Spirit, they'll be transformed when they hear it. I'm willing, if it works, know the Father did it. I ain't nothing special, I'm just a vessel with pure intentions. We fishers of men, I know oppressor is scared. We in the scriptures again, matter of fact, they terrified. We got the faith of a mustard seed. The moment we under siege, we gon' let these trumpets scream and they gon' feel it. We back on that ancient path, the Savior paved the way, we gon' make it last. Any moment could be your last. 2020 vision, choose sides, make your decisions. The prophets is back, it was written, seek repentance, cause one day you gon' see them chariots above the clouds. It's gon' be a problem if they come down. Abba, have mercy, we need you right now. If you don't intervene, ain't no other way out. Unless you swing low, low, swing low. Abba, swing low, low, low. Trumpet now, high pitch, ringing in my ear. I start to levitate. One way to Jerusalem, I pray I get to heaven's gates. Let it marinate. Mean every word. One day, you gon' look up. You gon' see.
Another might be
Glory
exclusive.
to Abba, almighty power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In the name of his son, Yasha, Hamashiach. Well, it's gonna be a problem if they calm down.
All right, all right. All right.
Rashawn gone or oh there you go. Okay.
Nah, yeah, he's still with us. He's still with us. 1 second here. All right, man. I like that one. That was my first time hearing that. Eliye who brought that to me.
That dude got it.
So you familiar with him, Roshan?
Oh yeah. We that brother, he's very talented, man. He got a lot of great music, and we're supposed to be collabing soon. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Then all praises. Can't wait for that one, man.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for that one. So let's get back to this thing, man. I shared an analogy with Roshan this week, and I shared it with my wife. I'm a chess player. I love playing chess. And the thing about chess is this. Roshan, well, I'm going to backtrack a little bit so you'll know where I'm coming from. Roshan said something. He said, brother, you thinking too deep. And Roshan was like, nah, brother, you not thinking deep enough. Scripture time. Isaiah chapter 30. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover and cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You brothers mute your mic if you don't mind. But yeah, so this is the thing. Our people trust oppression. That's what this scripture here is saying. Our people trust the government. Our people, they look at the president as a savior. Oh, Biden is supposed to come in on his white horse and he is supposed to save all of us, man. We couldn't wait to get that racist Trump out of the office because Biden, matter of fact, I saw a post of a classmate of mine that says Biden cares. He gets it. He cares, right? Listen to what the scripture is saying. The scriptures say, man, you got a covering, but it's not in my spirit. He said, you walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth. He said, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. That's what's happening right now. People are strengthening themselves with the government. And when we tell them the things that's right there in front of them, they tell us we crazy because it don't align with what it is that they see. Another thing that Brother Rashawn brought out, when he let it be known, who will understand what the spirits say? It's not for everybody to understand, right? So if you are someone who thinking that we're sounding ridiculously crazy, maybe this show is not for you, okay? Because this is the thing about chess. If you play chess, chess is one of those type of games where you could be losing and not aware that you are losing. Or if you playing somebody that's real crafty, you could be losing and he can have you deceived into you believing that you are actually winning. Because the game is a slow, meticulous game. And what they are doing to us is slow and meticulous, but deliberate. Old people are dying. They are dying not by the hundreds, but by the thousands. And this is very meticulous how they are doing it. We just read an article in Beijing. It was a snowstorm that caused havoc, but it was artificial snow. I talked to a brother who said they put fire to the snow that they had in Tennessee. He said it burnt. It didn't melt. It burnt. Now, I'm not fit to come on here and say that y'all had fake snow. No, you're not going to say that Shir Yeshub said that. But what I'm saying is you better start looking through some spiritual eyes, man. So, power, it affected 4.5 million people in their residence. You know what else it affected? It affected grocery stores. The Most High said, I'm going to bring famine as part of these plagues. People, we are in a famine right now, and you don't even know it. Why? Because you're not thinking deep enough. The brother told you. You thinking that everything is all right because you seeing HEB trucks pulling back up at the grocery stores. Don't you know that Egypt just showed you how fast they can take the foods away from you? How fast they can take your lights away from you? How fast they can take your water away from you? And they're doing that because they want you to depend on them. Oh, ain't no food in the grocery store, Safa? That's all right. We got food drives at Second Mission Missionary Baptist Church and over at Roosevelt, and we got food drives at Arlington Stadium, right? And at 8, you see, we got your food. You see what I'm saying? People, if you don't get nothing else from what it is that we're trying to tell you on this show, get this. Stop trusting these people because they do not have your best at interest. Figure out who you are. Figure out who the crafty counsel has always been against. Figure out who always get the bad end of the stick and turn back to your power. Go ahead, guys.
Come on. I was part of that store thing. And that's what we touching on, the food issue, right? Come on. Second Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. I went to Albertsons. Meat department wiped out. Milk wiped out. Everything that seemed to be an everyday thing wiped on out. Now, luckily, all praise for our brother who's not here right now, Eliyahu. He has been telling us prepare, do this. So I started slowly practicing. So by the time this situation happened, we had enough stuff to survive with. Only reason why we went to the store just probably for like little minor things, condiments, which they outdid the condiments. I didn't need no tissue, none of that. But I was seeing the chaos that was going on in the store. I was picking up a thing of eggs. It was 3 left. I needed 2 of them. A brother needed 1 of them. I told him, here you go. You can have 1 of these. I took it out my basket. You can have 1 of these. Somebody needs something else. No, okay, you can have this. I'm not fit sitting here and fall in line with the chaos. I'm just be the one to stand out and show that no matter what we going through, I'm still down for my people. I still love my people. I'm not fit sitting here and argue with you. Can get in line in front of me. You can have this. You can have that. If I just would have walked out the store with nothing, I would have been happy that I gave it away to somebody that just to save the chaos that they going through. I don't know what they going through in their house and what they need. So you can have this, you can have that. Did we lose, bro? Okay. Well, that's all I have to say for that on that one right now.
You got something to add, Roshan? Your mic muted. Your mic muted.
No, I was listening to everything that you were saying so far. I wasn't going anywhere. And you're right. You're correct. Both of you guys, hit major points, and it's all true. It's all prophecy too, because Yeshua, he stresses that these people are old. These people are old. Even with the cocktail, that's who the target was, right? So it just goes to show you that the prophecy of the Bible is so real and true. I want to bring out Deuteronomy 28 and 50. And it says, a nation of fierce countenance, right? So we know who we're dealing with. We're dealing with a cutthroat nation of people who don't care. They will kill. Watch this. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So as Brother Yeshua just said, they have no regard for the old. Right? That's why it's so easy for them to do what they're doing. They have no regard. And I want to bring out one more here. Where is it here? Going back to and I'm gonna just touch on this real quick, but going back to the snow and the weather and all of that, and how the prophecy of this word is just so on point when it comes to these heathen nations. Jeremiah 10 and 1 and 2. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. So it says that the other nations would be occupied in worrying about the skies, the heavens, the clouds, the weather, right? So this stuff is right here in the word, which again, why we say, like Brother Yeshua just said, if you don't pay attention to anything else that we're saying, understand that you need to open your eyes and wake up to what's really going on.
Con, exactly. And see, and I want my show to be based on, because I do understand that there are people that are skeptic of the Bible, and that's understandable, right? We can agree to that, right? Because we have been taught the Bible so erroneous for so long, right? And I said my show this is our show. So my family get on me all the time about that. Everything is mine. Y'all brothers don't hold me on that, okay? But yeah, all praises. But
it's selfish, brother. It's just selfish.
I know, right? Right. So when we bring out these scriptures in the Bible, we bringing these scriptures out and we showing you in real life, though, how they are matching up. So if you are a skeptic, right, all I'm asking you to do, I'm not telling you to believe in it, but what I'm telling you to do is listen to what the words say and pay attention to your surroundings. Now, check this out. They cut off the power. The water was no good. And I went to the grocery store myself, just like Sophia said. And that's when it dawned on me, this verse right here. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15. I could tell you, we could probably do a whole show on 2 Ezra 15, right? In today's time. 2 Ezra 15 is 2021. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. For there shall be seditions among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Because of lack of bread and great tribulation. You people depending on Albertsons and H-E-B and your Walmarts to always have foods there. Think about when you go to the grocery store and you can't get food. I walked in at H-E-B and it hit me, Safa and Roshan. I looked all the way to the back and I saw where the meats were supposed to be and they had tarps on it. And I said, my goodness, the meats went bad when the power went out. And now I'm looking at the people in the grocery store walking around like they spaced out because everybody is looking for slim pickings in the grocery store. And it hit me. They want the violence, Ak. They want the sedition. What better way to bring the worst out of people than a famine? You go into the grocery store and you can't find your foods. Don't you know that people are going to start coming to your house whether you invited them or not? And they ain't coming to sit down and play cards and dominoes with you. They're going to take your spoils. And they are not going to have regard for nobody. This is chess. This is real life chess that they are playing with us. And we running around here talking about shows like The Bachelor. Word about sporting events, right? This is the same thing that Rome did when they destroyed Jerusalem in AD 70. The same thing that happened to Rome when it fell the first time. People was concerned about entertainment and not realizing that the whole government around them was crumbling. The last show that we did was called what? The Handwriting is on the Wall. Think about this, people. When Walmart no longer have things as simple as bread, how safe are you going to be? Will your government be there to protect you then? You living in a city of 4 million people, 3 million people? What's your thoughts on that, brothers?
Yeah, as you was talking, I was reliving the moment when going through the grocery stores, man, and you know they prefer chaos rather than order. and like we said at the beginning, who does it hit? The black and the brown community. What do we know about us when we get hungry or can't get no food or just 3 hours worth of hungriness? We get temperament, we get attitude, we ready to fight, we ready to get everything out the way. We get distance, and they watched us. They know our ways. So in order for them to sit there and point things out and have the chaos over order, let's take food away from them. Let's make sure that trench is drawn in the sand like they did us in AD 70 and say, can't nothing come in, can't nothing go out. Let's watch them go against each other. Let's watch them fight. They watching us in them grocery stores go at it. And I'm pretty sure I wanted them to see me being loving towards my brother, father-in-law of that. Rashawn?
Thank you, brother. Good point. Um, man, Yeshua, you've been like really, really, really just giving me chills with some of the things that you've been saying. One thing that you said that just really, really, really has been a pet peeve of mine since the cocktail and since the new weather situation here is the fact that what you just said. You said that uh, we're still entertaining stupidity, just stuff that shouldn't even matter in these last days. You know, right? That we're living in, and the tribulation period that we're about to embark on. And the Most High tells us in Second Ezra chapter 14. Look at what he tells us. This is Second Ezra chapter 14, verse 13. It says, "Now therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort." So the first thing he said was get some order in your life, right? That's why you can't focus because you're off your rockers. You don't have no order, right? He says, comfort such of them as be in trouble and now renounce corruption. And you just said it. Everything that we are focusing on, we're still focusing on corrupt ways, right? Just like when the cocktail was rolled out. What's the first thing our people was looking for? A way to get out, to let their hair down. It don't matter what it was. Man, I understand that the clubs are closed, but are there any lounges open? Any bars? They're still looking to hold on to some level of corruption, right? Verse 14, let go from the mortal thoughts. You see? So the Most High is telling us in these last days, all those corrupt thoughts that you have, it's time to let that stuff go. Because these people, man, they not playing. Let go from the mortal thoughts, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Cast away the burdens of men. Put off now the weak nature, right? Put off now the weak nature. That's what's wrong with our people. That's why they don't believe anything, because we too weak. We're too weak. And then that goes back to Romans 13 and 11. For it's high time for us to wake up out of sleep. We sleep, man. Go ahead, brother.
Indeed. We got about 7 more minutes in this show, and it couldn't have ended on a more befitting verse out of 2 Esdras. And if you people don't know about 2 Esdras, it is King James, okay? It is King James. This is what is called an apocrypha, okay? King James version. Let you know that we ain't reading no funny stuff here, right? This is my Bible right here. This is a Cambridge Bible right here with the King James, with the Apocrypha in it, okay? So y'all want you to be like, I don't know where these brothers getting this. Well, I don't have Esdras in my. You do have Esdras in the regular 66. It's called Ezra, the same brother, okay? It's called Esdras in the Apocrypha because of what the Greeks did. And this is one of the things that I want people to understand too. It was the same people being afflicted in the days of this Bible by the same people that's afflicting us now, which is Greeks and Romans. That's why the MO has not changed. That's why they're doing the exact same thing. The Romans built the wall. The Romans cut off the utilities. The Romans kept the food away from the people, and the people went crazy. Now, this is what I need you to understand with that. When Jerusalem got destroyed in AD 70, that's when judgment started for our people. This is probably the first time we done got into this type of talk on the show, right? And I really wasn't expecting us to get into this type of talk so early, but all praises, right? Hey, it's here now, okay? Judgment started for our people. The Most High was not dealing with Jerusalem in AD 70. Why? Because they was full of sins. This is why he turned them over to the Gentiles. This is why the Romans were able to do what they did to them. Guess what the scripture just said to Ezra? He says that I will bring plagues upon the world. Why? Because wickedness had exceedingly polluted the earth. We got Bell-Tried commercials on TV. Did I say that drug right, brothers? That HIV medication that they can take. You see what I'm saying? And that commercials that's full of homosexuals. They got TV shows on that's called the Drag Queen something. I have absolutely no idea the name of it, right? Wickedness has exceedingly polluted the earth. Y'all walking around here trying to figure out how you gonna get back to the clubs, how you gonna get back to going to concerts when the Most High is putting plagues on this place. He is plaguing this place. Godzilla is a plague. Winter Storm 2021 is a plague. Whether the Grecians did it or not, it's still plagues. Why? Because it's affecting us. These are plagues. I'm going to go on. He says, this is the Most High talking here. He says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching the wickedness. This place is falling apart at the seams. There is no middle ground. Deuteronomy says that I show mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Get out of that. He don't care what day you worship. Get out of that. He don't care what we eat. Get out of that. That you just love America. Get out of that. You better find out who your power is if you want to make it through this place. Because I'm going to tell you, the same way he was not dealing with Jerusalem in AD 70, guess what? He ain't dealing with America either. He said that the unfaithful and the wicked shall die. That's what the Bible said. I didn't make that up. He is not dealing with this wicked place. I don't care how many Bibles Biden swear upon. He is not dealing with Biden. He's not dealing with Ted Cruz. He ain't dealing with none of these people. He's only dealing with them that love him. And how did he know who love him, Ox? What's the test on loving him?
By keeping his commandments.
Them that keep his commandments.
And that's signed, sealed, and delivered. No way around it.
Yeah.
So we come to you every Monday with a purpose. We're not just doing this because we want to do this. We do this for a purpose, which is to try. Brother Roshan said it early. He said to reach our people. I have no problem with saying that. I'm not with all of this inclusive stuff that's in the world today. If a Gentile come around and find something in this here that can help them, all praise to the Most High. But this show is for my people. Go ahead, brothers. We got a couple of more minutes.
I just got
take us home.
Just got summed everything up of what we just said tonight about the issues with the weather, the food, and how this and entertainment. Everything from up to going back to clubs to TikTok challenges, all that. We as a people, as a nation of us, we want to get back to that. We think that's cool and fine and dandy, but Isaiah 5:20 says, woe unto them they call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Whole duty of man, fear the Most High and keep his commandments, because he's gonna bring everything into judgment. That's all I have.
You said it all, brother. You said it all. You said everything for us.
Well, that has been it. What episode is this, brothers? Is this episode 3 or is this episode 4?
3, I believe.
Is this episode 3? This is episode 3 of the trick. Yeah, episode 3 of the Truth Be Told Flex podcast. Winter Storm 2021. Forgive us if we sounded like we was. It's episode 4.
No. I was gonna say I was waiting on you to finish speaking. I was gonna just tell everybody to subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Please do that. What the brother said. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the channel as well. Right?
Yes.
I'm a realist. I'm gonna put this out there. I am a realist. I know that you may not agree with everything that we say, but give the show a chance. Give the show a chance. Give us 5 shows. Give us 5 shows and see how you feel about it. Give us a chance, right? Because we come here with our hearts for real, wide open for the people, man. We worked on this. We came together. The Most High brought the 3 of us together in strangely different ways. And I believe that this is the reason why we are together. And so we're going to do this. We're going to continue to do this. And when we come back on the next show, it's going to run the same way that they normally run. But with the grace of the Most High, I want our people to start thinking outside of the box. Because still in this same chapter right here, 2 Ezra chapter 15, the Most High say that my people are being led to the slaughter as sheep. And that's what I see daily. We're being led to the slaughter as sheep. So let's get off of that and let's get back to where we need to be. Because as the dude in the song says, we got a whole kingdom that we need to be preparing for. A whole kingdom. So with that being said, this is Shir Yeshua Judah. Oxafai, Roshan Judah. We would like to say salute you. And we'll see you this time next week. Barakatah wa shalom.